What is up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back, Sooner Surge. Before we get started with this video, hit the subscribe button. Join up to the Sooner Surge. Also, check out the FanStop, www.thefanstop.com. Use code SURGE. You get 10% off your first 3 months. Order that Christmas gear before it's gone so you can get it in time. So go ahead and order that. Thefanstop.com. This is a basketball video as OU men get the win this week over Georgia Tech, and then OU women beat Louisville. So let's talk about it, guys. First, let's start with the women's game. The women's game tonight in a game that come from behind, Jackson, they get the victory in a game where Beers only has 11 points. They turn the ball over 27 times. That is something I think this women's team, they got to be a lot better. That's been probably – I think their Achilles heel, Jackson, has been the turnovers.
Yeah. I believe they finished the first half with 18 turnovers, so they only had 9 in the second half, a much better second half. But Oklahoma, they committed a lot of bad fouls in this game, especially in the first half. They turned the ball over a ton. They're too worried about, I think, trying to force chemistry with Reagan Beers and with Skylar Van and Liz Scott instead of actually trying to run the offense. It's something that I think I've seen. It didn't hurt them versus bad opponents, but you saw it against Duke. They struggled in the first half. They almost were able to come back in that game and win. They lost that. They were able to come back and what was an impressive win on the road in which Oklahoma found a way to win in the second half. And I guess you could say the word Sooner Magic because I think it was with 1 minute left in the third quarter. They were down by 11 or so points and were just able to chip away and get back into the game. But Peyton Verhulst, She is a stat sheet filler. She continues to do so many things well. I think right now she's playing the best on this Oklahoma team. I think it's fair to say that Peyton Verhulst is your go-to option. Reagan Beers, she only had 11 points, as you said. I thought her impact was felt a lot on the boards, especially in the second half. She got some
double.
She got some crucial defensive rebounds, a couple offensive rebounds. Skylar Van right now, her shots aren't really falling compared to what we're seeing, but I expect her to get it going. Lexi Keys being consistent from the three-point line has been huge. She knocked down a couple threes in this game. In Oklahoma, they really just whenever they need someone to make some plays down the stretch, it's not Peyton Verhulst or Skylar Van. I think Zaya Van is going to make some plays because she played a not very good first half, and as a true freshman, you can shut down. She came on the second half, and she played phenomenal, was leading Oklahoma in the break a ton, made some fast break layups, dished the ball out extremely well. So I think that was a good response to see from the true freshman point guard.
Sahara Williams is really good tonight with 15 points. Beers and Verhulst get in foul trouble. I think that was big to be able to come out on top after having those two players in foul trouble. You got the double-double. You get 21 points from Peyton Verhulst, and you get out of Louisville with the win. Lexi Keys, the two big threes, 2 out of 3 tonight. But, yeah, I mean, you said it, Jay. You can't turn the ball over that much when you're going to try to make a deep tournament run. But to be able to fight the adversity, not play their absolute best, and get a win at Louisville, great night for the Sooner women.
Yeah, and Jackson kind of hinted upon it, but the fourth quarter, 29-12, dominant fourth quarter for Oklahoma. And overall, they hold Louisville to shooting 23% from the three-point range, 6 of 26. That's your difference.
Yeah.
As the Sooners win 78-72. Let's transition to the men's, guys. And the men's last night had Georgia Tech come into town, and it was a slow start. I mean, it was. Even Porter Moser said they looked sluggish. They looked heavy-footed, and it was their, fourth game in 7 days or something like that?
Yep.
So it was kind of expected, but I loved the way they came out of halftime. The first half, they allowed 34 points. It's the most they've allowed in a half all year long. Second half, they played a lot better defensively and got things going. Fears got it going a little bit. He was in foul trouble in the first half. Kobe Elvis kind of carried him in that first half with some big threes.
He did.
But overall, another game where they don't turn the ball over a lot. They win the game and still undefeated, guys.
Yeah, I think that's something we've seen a lot with the Oklahoma men's basketball team is the majority of their games, it's kind of been a tale of two halves for what this team is. I think we've seen flashes of what they can be. We haven't seen them put together a full 40 minutes yet. I think that's going to come sooner rather than later. But Jason talked about the play from Kobe Elvis in the first half was the only reason Oklahoma was in this game in the first half. He was hitting some big threes late in the shot clock, and Kobe Elvis is – I think he's starting to come on a lot, especially on the offensive side of the floor. He's starting to hit shots at a consistent rate now, which at the beginning of the year, Jason, this is something that we talked about. If Kobe Elvis can be a consistent shot maker for this team, you have a really good, in my opinion, number 3 option. And some nights can even be your number 1 if he's hitting. And Jeremiah Fears in the second half, the team goes as Jeremiah Fears goes. That's what I'm going to say the rest of the year. If he's playing his game, if he's on the court, Oklahoma, they look like a completely different team. And Jeremiah Fears, he was doing his thing. And with Jalen Morris, must have felt good for him against his former team to pick up this win. Obviously, you saw some emotion from him in the second half with how he normally plays with. That's Jalen Moore, though. But definitely Oklahoma, they got some from Luke Northweather. He hit a big 3 late in that game to put the game away. And Oklahoma, they really continue to find different guys each night outside of Jeremiah Fears and Jalen Moore and Kobe Elvis, whether it's a Duke Miles or someone else, that it's going to contribute and make plays when it's needed. And I think that's what Oklahoma hasn't had in years past.
Yeah, I mean, there's one concern as a Sooner fan. It's the big, because coming off the bench, Wagui only plays 2 minutes.
Yeah.
They basically bring Northweather off the bench, and that's it. This is a team that's going to have to go small ball a lot. I think getting Jones back can help some, but they're going to have to win with their – look, Duke Miles, Fears, Elvis, those guys are also very good defensively. They're very good at getting steals. But I worry about when they're going to face a big, what's going to happen, because Sam Godwin has been not good lately. Last night, getting a win against Georgia Tech after you come back from the Bahamas, I think is impressive, because that was not an easy game probably to get up for after being in the Bahamas. And they were able to still get that big ACC win, feathering the cap. You look at their non-con schedule and who they beat now, guys. I mean, when it comes Selection Sunday, these are wins that are going to prove to be very monumental for this Sooner squad, I think. But, Kobe Elvis was really good. I like how he's driving and dishing. And Fears is phenomenal. To get to the free throw line that much, that's kind of his game.
Well, and you also had, somehow, and I don't know how, I watched the whole game, and then I looked after the game. Somehow OU out-rebounded them. And the first half, they were getting kind of destroyed and manhandled on the boards, and they ended up out-rebounding them. So that's good. Goodine, guys, also had 11 points. I mean, Goodine, he hit a couple big shots, but they dominated the second half, win the second half, I think, by like 19 points, win the game by 15, 76-61. And wouldn't you know it, when OU moves from the Big 12 to the SEC becomes probably the best league in basketball.
I think he's impressive right now.
The SEC, did you see the ACC SEC challenge? I think the only game they lost was Kentucky. I think that's it.
It's a good league. I'm not ready to
Auburn, they lost to Duke.
Auburn
lose tonight. Okay, yes. Auburn lost. I was talking about last night.
I'm not ready to say it's better than the Big 12 right now.
We'll see. I know Auburn and Alabama both beat Houston. I do know that. But all I'm saying is this. You can do all this stuff non-conference. It's great. You get big wins. It's going to come down to conference play. You can't throw a 4 games under 500 conference record out there like they've been doing. They'll be the first team out again. You got to get over that hump. And that's what they have to do. I like their team. I really do. I like what Porter's doing with it. I just have to see it in conference play. Don't forget, this team got up to number 8 last year about this same time. They've jumped the ranks already this year up to 21. They're going to move up again next week, probably to top 15. So you got to continue it in the conference play. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think this is a crucial time for Oklahoma as they play. Is it Alcorn State in their next game, student appreciation game? Then they go on the road to Michigan, or no? That's in the Jumpman Invitational, I believe. They play Michigan, And then after that, I believe you have off for break. I don't know who all you play. And then first SEC game is on the road against Alabama. So chance for Moser in Oklahoma. The last time Oklahoma played Alabama, I know it was in Norman, but Moser gave it to Nate Oates and the Alabama team. Now, I know this is a completely different year. But Oklahoma and Moser, they have a chance to start off SEC play with a statement win. And Jason, Jeremy, we all have said this. Moser needs to do good in conference play. That's been the Achilles heel for him. They start off great, and then they tend to slow down when teams figure out who they are as a team. In Oklahoma, they're going to need to respond well in conference play.
Yeah, Sooner women and men get it done early week this week. Thanks for watching the content here at Sooner Surge. Hit the like, comment. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We'll catch you next time, Sooner Nation.